Long ago, in the ancient city of Jerusalem, there lived a man named Jesus. He was known for his love, his compassion, his miracles, and his teachings about the kingdom of God. Crowds followed him wherever he went. Some came to hear his words. Some came to be healed. Others came because they felt that when Jesus spoke, hope came near. He welcomed the forgotten, touched the untouchable, forgave sinners, and gave dignity to the poor. To many people, Jesus was a light in a dark world. But not everyone welcomed that light. Some religious leaders feared his growing influence. They watched the crowds gather around him and felt threatened by the truth he spoke, so they began to make plans to arrest him. One of Jesus' own disciples, Judas Iscariot, agreed to betray him for 30 pieces of silver. That night, Jesus went to the Garden of Gethsemane to pray. Under the dark sky, among the olive trees, his heart was heavy. He knew what was coming. He prayed to the Father and surrendered completely, saying, "Not my will, but yours be done." Soon Judas arrived with soldiers and temple guards. He came close to Jesus and greeted him with a kiss. It was the signal. A sign of friendship became the mark of betrayal. Jesus did not run. He did not fight back. He stepped forward and allowed himself to be arrested. They brought Jesus before the high priest, where false accusations were raised against him. Witnesses spoke against him, but their stories did not agree. Still, the leaders had already made up their minds. They saw Jesus as a threat that had to be removed. Through it all, Jesus remained calm and silent, standing with quiet strength even while being treated as guilty. Early the next morning, Jesus was taken to Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor. Pilate questioned him and found no real reason to condemn him. But the crowd outside grew louder. Stirred up by the leaders, they shouted, "Crucify him!" Pilate hesitated, but he feared a riot, so he gave in to the pressure and handed Jesus over to be crucified. The soldiers mocked Jesus. They twisted together a crown of thorns and pressed it onto his head. They placed a purple robe on his shoulders and bowed before him in cruel laughter. "Hail, King of the Jews," they said. Then they placed a heavy wooden cross on his wounded shoulders and led him through the streets toward Golgotha, the place of the skull. Jesus was weak, beaten, and exhausted. Every step was painful. Some people mocked him, some wept for him, others watched in silence. At Golgotha, the soldiers nailed his hands and feet to the cross. Then they lifted the cross upright, and Jesus hung there between heaven and earth. The pain was unimaginable. Yet even there, Jesus prayed, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." For hours, Jesus hung on the cross. Darkness covered the land. His mother and some faithful followers stood nearby, watching with broken hearts. Finally, Jesus cried out, "It is finished." Then he gave up his spirit. At that moment, the earth shook, and the curtain of the temple was torn in two. Creation itself seemed to tremble at the death of the Son of God. Jesus' body was taken down from the cross, wrapped in clean linen, and placed in a tomb carved out of rock. A large stone was rolled across the entrance, and guards were stationed outside. To his followers, it seemed like hope had been buried. Their teacher was gone. Their dreams were shattered. Their hearts were filled with fear and sorrow. But heaven was not finished. On the third day, early in the morning, women came to the tomb with spices. They expected to find the body of Jesus. But when they arrived, the stone had been rolled away. The tomb was empty. An angel appeared and said, "Do not be afraid. You are looking for Jesus, who was crucified. He is not here. He has risen." Jesus had risen from the dead. Soon he appeared to his disciples and to many others, proving that death had been defeated. The cross was not the end.